I was talking to Wabagishik Rice there just now. He's like, man, your mentor, he's a really interesting guy. I was like, yeah, you could use that word.
He's talking about me, of course.
Yeah, interesting.
You look at me as your mentor.
No, my other mentor. Hey, we're selling our camp. You want to buy it?
No.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to make sure everything's working here. Good.
Yeah. And I sent you. You should be getting I sent you a real estate portrait referral.
Well, thanks for that.
Because I figured, doing your outside lighting stuff there with that.
And you figured because I'd mentored you, you got to pay me back.
Yeah, no.
Just for the record, anybody listening to this, I went for a panini last week with James, and this guy showed up that he knows. He was a native dude. What's his name again?
Wabagishik Rice.
And he works at CBC Radio. He's on air, right?
He hosts Up North on CBC Radio at I believe 4:00 every day.
So I was like, hey, if you're here all by yourself and feeling lonesome, come and join us. So we had lunch with us, and I made a new friend, and that's who he's talking about. Yeah. So
yeah, he's a super nice guy.
I'm always an opportunist too. I hit him up to get on his TV show for an interview. I didn't push that too hard, right?
No, I did the same thing when I said, oh, you're looking for, I preached my sister's invention there.
Cool.
I said, hey, why don't you do that? Because he's always looking, and that's the thing about him. He's always looking for stuff. So if you know anybody else too, like, I mean, worst case scenario, he doesn't need it, but he's like, yeah, if you know anything, like, let me know. Because they always want to know, because that's how they get their content, right? Every day they got to get new content. So
I don't think a lot of people realize that these big media outlets are always looking for interesting ideas.
Always.
So
is that humming me, or is it you?
It's your coffee.
No, I don't think so. Let me see here.
I don't hear any humming. Could be your brain.
Yeah. How was a cardio kick?
It's good.
Good.
It's good. We had one person show up.
Well, Joss will be there next week. She's off work this week.
So that's one of the things I just wanted to quickly bring up. I started cardio kickboxing after many, many years of not doing it. And I'm turned 60 this year, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? Getting back into cardio kickboxing. But I was asked, and I said, give it a go. And in the back of my brain, there's like, you're getting too old. You're getting too old. So nobody else seems to feel that that's the case. And I've already had a bunch of classes, and it's fine. I feel good. I love cardio kickboxing. It's my favorite thing. And I know jiu-jitsu is your favorite thing, and you probably get the same passion that I do. I mean, after a good workout.
Even the shirt I'm wearing, Jits Therapy. That's my therapy. No matter what kind of mood I am in, if I am in a bad mood, or I am disgruntled, or I am depressed, or anxious, or whatever, I know that when I go to jiu-jitsu, by the time I'm done, it's all gone. Because that release of endorphins and serotonin and norepinephrine, all those chemicals that get released from enjoying yourself and exerting yourself, all become present. You get a good sweat on. Like that's the main reason why I go.
I call it a hit of Zoloft.
It's good. It's good for the brain.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, we've got 2 million years of evolution, and most of the time that us humans have been on this planet, we've been exercising hard. Now all of a sudden we just get to kick back, watch TV. So that's why depression and all that shit is up skyrocketing. And it's crazy how many people are on antidepressants. It's crazy. It's like epidemic rates. Just about everybody I know who are in their 50s are on some sort of meds. And but it's crazy. So yeah, I think the biggest and best antidote is exercise, whether or not you're doing jiu-jitsu, jogging, biking. I don't know. It's good. It's good stuff. So I really, really enjoy it for that. And that's probably the main reason. And hopefully I can keep at it a while. So
when you go to any doctor and you go there for whether you're depressed or you're anxious or something, one of the main things they'll tell you is start exercising. Get out of the house.
Well, a good doctor will.
Go do something physical.
A good doctor will.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's the #1 prescription. Whether or not that actually sticks with most people, I don't know, but I heard that that's the #1 prescription for depression. But I'm going to guess that The industry is so big for pharmaceuticals. It's going to be
Well, that's the other thing too, right?
it's going to be a really hard tide to push
Gotta
back.
make some money. Just trying to
we gotta
think like that humming. I hear a humming. I don't know if you hear a humming. I just hope the humming's not getting recorded.
I don't hear it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me turn my volume up. Did you hear that?
I heard that. I heard that.
Check. 1, 2.
Do you
1,
hear
2.
this?
Tiblin.
I don't know. I hear humming. It could be the voices in my head.
Did you
It
smoke
sounds like
from
it sounds.
you
It
smoke
sounds like
from
a,
wacky tobacco?
it sounds like a slow lightsaber.
Oh. I have no idea what that is.
Right, jiggery Jew. You know.
Okay, let me ask you your opinion about something.
Okay.
Every day I post 3 posts to promote my studio on all across social media, Facebook page,
You want my honest opinion about one picture?
Which picture?
I can't stand it.
Which one?
It's your little kid's Superman picture.
Oh, why?
It's the kid's expression.
Oh, yeah, well, he's looking badass. He's only 8, you know.
It's like you look.
And you got to remember, there's a whole story behind that. He was
okay.
He's from Sick Kids, and he was almost dead 2 years ago.
Okay, well, I didn't read the story.
I should tell the story. I didn't like his. He kept doing that expression while I was shooting it.
It's like you should have like it's Superman, man. Like,
I was trying to work him, but the kid's really, really quirky. When you talk to him, he's got a lot of personality, and he's suffered a lot too. So somehow, I don't know. I was trying to get him to do. That was his badass look. So, but you're right. But his mom loved him. Like
that's all that matters.
Moved to tears.
That's all that matters.
So, anyways, back to my story. So,
Yeah.
You're mentioning. I think I posted one of those yesterday, and I'm always posting images, just pushing it out there constantly. I get a lot of views. But anyways, I had one of my recent weddings. I had a beautiful sunset shot, and I posted it this afternoon.
I saw that today.
Yeah. Did you see what that one lady said?
No, I didn't read the comment. Should I go look?
I took it off.
Oh, why? What did she say?
Oh. She said they will divorce next year. That's what she said.
Why the hell would somebody say that?
And I was like, I know. It's like, and I was on my phone when I read that, and I couldn't edit it. So I went on my phone. I just said, you have to take that off. And then I came to the computer later on here at the studio, and I went and checked to see if she took it off, and she didn't. But I can block it, which I've done. So if you go there, nobody's going to be able to see it.
I see it.
Does it still show up?
Yeah, I see it. Because then you rate serious. Yeah, I see that.
All right. I just deleted it.
I would delete her right off of Facebook.
Man, I can't delete this. This is crazy. But anyways,
well, what's interesting is I can put hide comment on mine.
That's what I did, and obviously it wasn't working. Okay, it's gone now. If you hit refresh, you'll see it'll be gone.
Why can I block? I would just take her right off your. I'd take her right off your.
Yeah.
Right off your Facebook.
I don't know. I feel bad for her. I mean, I don't know.
That's kind of a rude thing to say.
It is. So, anyways, I've never had that, never seen that kind of stuff happen to me before ever. When somebody posts that kind of crap, I'm like, geez, that's almost as bad as people taking your wedding images from way back in the day and putting them on their Facebook page and on their website, claiming them as your own.
That's never happened. People don't do that.
Yeah, right. Never happened to you, right?
That's how I started out. I took all sorts of kick-ass images. I put them all on my website. Said they were mine.
I got all my pictures from a Sears catalog. Ladies in underwear, I do boudoir. Check it out. So yeah, but anyways, I couldn't believe that that lady had made that kind of comment. So it's gone. I haven't deleted her, but I don't know that I will. But yeah. So crazy. What else
was that the end of the story? That's
it, man. I just wanted to bring that up.
All right. What do you want to talk about? I know you had sent me something on topics, but I'll be honest, I really don't look too much. No, I was too busy today. I didn't really actually get to think about it, but that's okay because I'm good on the fly.
I know you are.
So
you're the fly guy. I was just like I sent you. I sent you a quick sort of like, hey, let's have a podcast first of all, and you were like, yeah, let's do it. And
Yeah, it's
then it
been a
was
while.
like, it's like, okay, well, I'd like to throw some sort of a format together, and which is for nothing because you don't read the damn thing. But
No,
I
I
had
do. I just
fun.
didn't read this one.
I said, why don't you let's come up with 3 things that were really epic in the last year. 2 things that were
Pick in the last year, eh?
2 things that were like majorly, a struggle, like a pain in the ass, that were sort of things you overcome. And one thing that if somebody found out this about you, they would go, man, that guy is weird, or something similar to that. So,
That has to do with photography or outside of
well, not
photography?
necessarily. Like one of
In,
the
in
things I
my,
put down was one of the things that were really cool in the last year, and we've already talked about it, and that is that I'm back into cardio kickboxing. So, and that is really to me kind of epic. And it does tie into photography because I feel really good when I exercise all the time. And I especially like it when I do a class of cardio and I know I'm going to go to a photo shoot shortly thereafter. Like tonight, I did my class and I had to race out and go to the grotto. You know where the grotto is?
yeah, I know the grotto.
So I had to photograph like 150 women that were survivors of breast cancer for this
Yes.
magazine. There's this magazine I'm shooting. Their next issue is coming out in October, and I had to do a shoot of 5 survivors in the studio with their boob out. I don't know if I showed you that. I talked about it in previous
Yeah,
masterminds, what have you.
it's a very
I had
interesting
these women
concept.
walking around with like they exposed their operated on boob, and I did a really cool picture in the studio. And the owner of the magazine is a survivor, so I had to shoot her for the cover, this group shot. And then tonight she organized, this was like a big event. She was on the news on TV, and she organized it a long time ago and had a lot of people come out from all over. 100 miles. People came in from 100 miles away. And they all had shirts and they had a sign that said how many years they were survivors. And it was raining all day. And I tried to get her to postpone it to tomorrow. I said, you got to have a backup plan. Because I'm like that, I'm being a wedding photographer. I'm always planning. I was looking, keeping a close eye on the weather.
I canceled my shoot tonight.
What's that?
I rescheduled my shoot tonight.
What was your shoot tonight?
Because it was going to rain. I had an actual family portrait to do through my the home safe mining
Oh,
project that we do.
well, if you're easily postponable, do it because
Yeah, yeah.
it was raining all day, all night. Well, I watched the forecast hourly, and 5, 6, 7 o'clock it was raining. Or sorry, 5 and 6 it was 80, 90% chance of rain. 7 o'clock it dropped down to 70. 8 o'clock it was dropping down to 20. So I knew the rain was progressively getting less. So I felt good about that.
Yeah.
So I get there and it was lightly raining, and it started to slow down just enough. It was still raining. I did the whole shoot in the rain, technically. As soon as we were done, it started coming down harder. But yeah, nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. So I went there earlier today to bring my ladder because I wanted to shoot from up high. And this guy showed up that was helping him out. He had this big trailer, right, that he puts his motorcycles in. This guy obviously has some money. He puts his ATVs in there, and he had a big trailer parked right in front of the grotto, exactly where I was going to put the ladder. And I'm like, shit, ooh, maybe I could stand on top of his ladder. So I pull a Spider-Man trick and I climb to the top, and carefully, because it's not the strongest trailer in the world. It's made of
Yeah.
it's got an aluminum ceiling on it. So I'm like, do you mind if I'm up here? And he goes, yeah, well, we got to make sure you're not going to fall through because it's pretty thin. So we put a table on top for stability and said, screw that, bring the ladder back. So when I went back after my cardio kickbox, the shoot went well and a little bit of rain. But my point being, after a good workout, overall, it's a good thing. It helps anybody in any business, no matter what you're doing in life, but specifically to photography. I mean, I just think it helps.
If you want
Really.
to be more productive at work, you have to take time to do the stuff that you love.
Yeah.
You have to. Like that's like you
But
have to
what
do
what
that.
if you don't love exercise though? So
Well, no,
my
it doesn't have to be exercise, but you have to do something because otherwise, what's the point of working?
yeah.
Eventually, you're going to just hate it
Well,
or love it.
I would say you love the effects, so you do it anyways.
I don't know, man. Like I schedule my fishing. I schedule it in my schedule. I have to go out. Like that's, and I
Okay.
find
I see where you're going.
after I'm done fishing,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I'm good. Work's good. Everything's good. Everything's good.
That's your therapy.
But you
That's
have to do that. Like you have to
one of
actually,
your
and I
therapies.
just talked to somebody about this. Like I schedule time in with my friends.
Yeah.
And it sounds shitty because they're my friends, but if I want to hang out with my friends, it's like, all right, let's look at our calendar. When can we hang out? And then I put it in there. And I literally will book jobs around my fishing. Why else am I working? Right?
Yep.
So
I hear you. No, I agree. I agree.
I got myself in a position to do that. That's why I worked. I work so I can have somewhat of freedom so that I can do the things I love while still
Yeah.
making money.
It's so easy to get caught up in a rut, especially if you're really like a really busy photographer, you're doing whatever you're doing, and you get in a rut, it's the same thing all the time, all the time, all the time. You could easily get in a rut. So that would be really good advice to, especially if you're losing your creative energy.
And I was just because I've had this discussion with other people and like recently in the last week in regards to this, and it's like, okay, so let's say you've got a 9 to 5 job. Let's say you're not a photographer. Let's say you have a 9 to 5 job, Monday to Friday.
Hmm.
You're a mother and you got kids, and it's like, well, I just don't have time. Like come weekends. Well, you know what? It comes down to like our goal setting. Remember we were talking about goal setting, writing stuff down. Subconsciously, it changes the way it
Yeah.
happens. Well, go right into the calendar. Put that calendar on the fridge. Put a big X across on Saturday. Mom's off. That way, it gives your family time to cope with it. Oh my God, mom's taking a day off, but prepare. Kids, like I'm not making your supper today. I'm not making your
No
breakfast.
pizza for you this weekend.
Like, you know what I mean? But you have
Yeah.
to do that. You schedule it 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance. Otherwise, like I said, the universe will always find some way to fill up your time.
Oh yeah.
Always. So when it comes to free time, there's no such thing as free time. You have to schedule free time.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
some people don't. Some people just have free time all the time. But people like me or you or somebody like, like otherwise we're working. Like if I'm not fishing or doing jujitsu or whatever, I'm working. Any other free
Yeah.
time goes to my business.
Yeah.
Whether I'm sitting on social media for 4 hours, it's still business, right? I'm still looking for stuff to further my business.
But you work pretty hard regardless, and you're pretty busy, so it all
And
works out. You seem to balance the two, so
And
that's pretty
what's
important.
funny? I was listening to the radio today, and I was listening to CBC radio, and they had an interview with some guy, and he was talking about he created something, or whatever. And he says, "Now I'm lazy," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm lazy too." And everybody would think, "Holy crap, you work hard!" Like you just said, you're busy, you work hard, day in and out, and I do. But if you ask me, I'm still lazy, and the reason is that well, I could be doing a hell of a lot more. Like I could be doing a lot more. I could be working 14 hours a day or 15 hours a day. So it's
80
like
hours a week.
still our own worst critics, right? Like I still
Yeah.
consider myself, yes, am I successful? I think I'm at the point now where I can say I am. Am I busy? Yes, I'm busy, but I probably could be a hell of a lot more busier,
Yeah.
right? I could be, and all I have to do is just work more.
I see the allure to working 70, 80 hours a week. I'm not advocating that, by the way, but I see the allure. If I found something I was really passionate about, like Steve Jobs was working 80 hours a week, that's all he ever did. And but I sort of, at one sense, I sort of get that. I don't plan on doing it because I like doing motorcycling, playing guitar, going to Costa Rica. No jujitsu, no fishing, but
Yeah,
that's
but that's
your
but that's but
domain.
that's the thing. You work as much as you have to so that you can enjoy the other things in life, and I think that's the whole point of working,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to work just for the sake of I have to work. You
And
work
I
so
was
that you can do the things that you want to do. Otherwise, man.
I was thinking about the complications of doing cardio kickboxing three days a week because it's a big commitment. And I was thinking, man, Tina's going to get annoyed at me if we have to give up a shoot or something like that. And I was like, you know what? It means a lot to me.
But don't you make your own schedule?
Yeah, but if somebody calls and says I can only go Monday at 5:15, what are you going to do? So I'll have to cross that
You
bridge when
do
I
what
get.
I do. Do what I do. Oh well. Sorry. Can't help
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Can't help you.
This is what I'm saying. I agree with you. I'm saying, yeah, it's got to be that.
I have turned down clients because I have other stuff. Like, if I book a day of fishing and somebody calls me last minute and I'm supposed to go out with a friend that took his time off work too,
Yeah,
right?
especially, no doubt.
And we're going to go out for a day and somebody calls me last minute and says the only day I do it is like tomorrow or the next day. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
What
I
do you
can't.
tell them?
I say, I'm booked. I'm booked. I'm
Yeah,
busy.
that's a white lie, but that's a good lie.
No, it's not a white lie. I am busy.
Well, if you say you're booked, I
I
say
am.
I have an
I am booked.
assignment that
I am
day.
booked. I am booked for time off with a friend.
Yeah, they
That's
don't have
also
to know the
that's
details.
also exactly. It's not their. They don't have to know freak all. That's not
They'll
their.
tell you go to Facebook and see you and your freaking fish pictures all over.
Doesn't matter. If anybody called me out, so you said you were busy. I'd tell them exactly what I did. I am
You're
busy.
busted.
My friend took time off out of his day too. How's that? You know what I mean? For what?
Yeah, but
You're
listen,
calling me. If you're calling me last minute, that's not my problem. That means you got the problem.
yeah, I know. How often does that ever happen though? Does it happen at all, or
Yeah.
rarely, or just
No,
once
no,
in a while?
not once in a while.
It will happen.
Like I had just had a client who contacted me in August, early August, to do two commercial spaces, like their businesses. One was in Sudbury, one was in Timmins.
Right.
And she just emailed me back 2 days ago, said we'd like to wrap this all up by September 12th. And I was like, I can't do that. My next availability is October 9th, and that is my next availability. Like you took a month and a half, a month to get back to me. Like, sorry, but I'm booked, and I am. My next availability is October. And I haven't heard back from her. It happens.
Cool.
It does.
No, I
Happen.
mean, really, it's a valid point because you got to have some sort of balance and you got to really feel good about yourself and you really have to. I mean, what's the use of just working and making money?
Well, as we get older, right? As we get older, time becomes more valuable.
Yeah.
Everything's valued in time. I value everything in time. I get paid
Mhm.
for time, whether I'm working and getting paid for time or I'm spending time with somebody. My time is valuable no matter what. Time that I'm with somebody else is less time that I have with my wife or whatever. So, like, my time is important. I literally just had a buddy who forgot twice about making plans with me, and I was upset. And I was upset because it's like that was time that I booked off, and then you
Oh,
forgot. And it's like I would have scheduled something, like, you know what I mean? Because now I've got nothing. Now I've got nothing to go out and do anything, or I don't have any shoots because I rearranged my schedule. Time is valuable, and I always say, like, when you value time, you got to look at how many birthdays you got left, how many Christmases you got left. I'm 45. That sounds like, oh, I'm middle aged. Not even there. That's a lot of times. Statistically speaking, I probably have 40 Christmases left. I probably have 40 summers left. If I'm going to live till I'm 85, that's 40 summers. It's not a lot of
mhm.
freaking summers. And that's the way, and the older I get, the less I want to be work, 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 work. And that balance is hard, right? You got to find that balance. I had
Mhm.
the perfect balance 3 years ago. Last year and this year, the balance went, and I don't know why yet. I haven't figured it out.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, my balance got off. It's because when you're balancing life, you've got like 4 or 5 elements. You've got work, you've got relationship, whether that's your spouse or kids, right? You got financials, right? You've got hobbies, and you've got health, okay? And then friends. So no matter what you do, there's a 5 or 6 element scale there. You increase one, something else suffers.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
I need to make more money. Okay, that means I got to work more. Now, if I work more, that means I have less time for my family and kids and spouse. So that could suffer because all of a sudden they're like, we're not spending a lot of time. Well, I'm going to spend more time with my family. That means you got less work. So now maybe money's an issue now. I'm going to work out more like that. Everything takes time. And the goal is to find that perfect balance where everything you've got, you're happy with your money situation, you're still spending time with your kids, you got time to exercise, you got time to, do some hobbies every week. Like and I had that perfect balance, but then I got busy. So now it's like the scales shifted. I'm
Yeah.
busy now. So it means other things are suffering, right? So I don't get to jujitsu that much. I don't get to fish that much. That impacts me. So it's hard to find that balance. And that's the whole goal. The whole goal is to find that balance.
Yeah. Well, you're
And
aware of it.
it gets harder every year because technically every year, if you're not smart, every year you got to make more money because every year everything gets increased in price.
Yeah.
So if you're making the same amount of money every year, technically every year you're going to lose money.
Yeah. Unless you raise your prices a little bit,
Well, that's what I mean.
or you find ways to cut back. That's what we did. You know, we really minimized our lifestyle quite a bit. We sold off a lot of stuff
Yep.
because I I I'm trading that for less financial pressure on a month-to-month basis. So, for example, last week we went to redo our mortgage. And I told
Yeah.
my wife, I said, let's pay that sucker off. Why? Let's pay it off so we don't have that payment.
Exactly.
That's one less monthly obligation. So that'll
Yeah.
give me more options in other areas. So in a sense, it sort of reflects what you're talking about. So,
Exactly.
and these are issues when you're self-employed. I think primarily, largely, people who have full-time jobs, and especially the jobs they've been at for like 10, 15, 20, 25 years, good, secure jobs, but they're sort of, I don't want to make it sound like I'm being derogatory, but they're almost like in a bubble, and they don't get the challenges and struggles. But if they do, not to the, they're not, they don't apply to the same extent that they apply
No.
to somebody who's self-employed. So, well, they have a lot more structure going, first of all, but they have a lot less freedom and a lot less options and a lot less. There's a lot of responsibility to running your own business. You're responsible. Your phone stops ringing, you're screwed.
Yep. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, or at least that I see. I see, and especially in the photography industry lately,
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of photographers that they're going to get second jobs now, or they're getting out completely, and
Yeah.
but they always wonder why. Like why? Why did they have to do that? Well, I know why. I know why. Because you didn't do something every day. You didn't work hard enough at it. I see it. You see it. I see it. Like I've seen it. I watched you for a year and a half. I watched you for 2 years. I've seen it. You could have
Mm-hmm.
did so much more. And then you're like, I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. You
That's what
know.
happened.
And how much and how often do we give advice? I give advice all the time to people. And then 4 months down the road, it's like you didn't do anything I said. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're still sitting there saying, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my phone isn't ringing. But that's with any business.
Hold on, I gotta grab a water. Do you want one? Hold on.
Yeah, give me water, please. That'd be great. I'll sit here and do elastic tricks for people. I'll
I'd
make
be really
a
thirsty.
I'll make a giraffe out of this elastic.
So I know what you're saying, and I'm at the point where I'm just done saying anything because
Well, so am I. I don't. I was,
nothing's
you
gonna
know,
work.
I've been out of the industry for a few years now. As far as following what other photographers are doing, I got off of all forums and all groups. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, it was the best thing I ever did because all I was able to do now was concentrate on my own thing, which is why I think my mining stuff and industrial stuff is as where it's at now. You know, because I didn't
Yeah,
wasn't worried about what everybody else was doing. I know what I had to do.
yeah. Um, but to me, the answer to what you need to do is so obvious. It's right there, right in front. I just got to reach out there and grab it. Trying to tell that to people is like impossible. It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. I just, yeah, it's
And
frustrating.
then, this is going to sound weird. Let's go down a bit of a rabbit hole. This is kind of a weird conversation I want to talk about. It's bizarre.
Okay.
I was talking about this to my daughter today. I said, people get jealous. They get envious. And they kind of look at you, it's just a human nature thing. And my daughter was telling me, she says, yeah, you're right. She just turned 23, and I was pretty amazed at her insight. She said, when I tell my people that my friends that my mom and dad have a place in Costa Rica, which we do, and it's no different than somebody having a camp, really. It's no
No,
different than a cottage.
no, exactly.
It's
It's
just
not.
bizarre. It's like bizarre. I mean, but the amount of financial input and the amount of year-to-year expenses that costs to get us there is not that far off, and maybe less than what most people spend on their cottages that they go to every weekend throughout the spring, summer, and fall throughout Canada and the U.S. It's a big industry. So we forsook that. Is that a word? We've forsaken that.
Forsaken.
We like to get away in the wintertime and go to Costa Rica, but people look at you kind of weird, you know. And so I just stopped talking about it amongst various.
Must be nice. Must be nice to have all that money, Rob. Like, wow, you're lucky.
But you got to be careful because people will take it the wrong way. And my daughter said, I was really surprised at her insight on that. She said, yeah, I stopped telling my friends or anybody I meet a long time ago. I said, if they ask about it, I say, look, my mom and dad sold everything off so that they can afford this place. And they've made it sort of financially viable by doing it. It's not like we're rich or anything.
See, I wouldn't have told Danielle that.
That's what she says. That's what she told
I would have just turned around and say, just tell them, yeah, my mom and dad worked their asses off for the last 25 years to be in a position to do that every day.
That might come across as a little smart-assy, but
it is smart-assy, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That's like the people. That's like the people that thought we were extremely rich with no BS, because when they did the math of how many members we had, how much we charged a month, and it's like, holy crap, these guys are making this much money, but not including what it costs for advertising, for our marketing, for our servers, for our computers, our time put into it day in and day out, all the equipment we bought for all our videos, you know, all our speakers costs, like everything, you know, when we were making our own DVDs and everything, like everybody looks at the gross, nobody looks at the net.
No.
That's it.
For the most part. So, but that's just a reality, and that goes along with being self-employed too. And you know, it's a bit of a lonely road because of that reason too. And you know, Dan Kennedy has talked about that many times in the last 20 years that I've been following him. And that's one of the reasons so many business owners like the guy. He's relatable in that sense. So, but yeah, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
So, I almost dropped my camera 3 days ago.
Again?
Yeah. You ever have, no, I've never almost not dropped it before. The only time I've ever dropped a camera was in 1978 at a Styx concert. I was drinking lots of wine and smoking weed. I dropped my Canon FTB, but it survived.
Which D30 did I use that was dropped in a lake?
Yeah, but that was, yeah, okay.
You've dropped cameras before.
Yeah, once, besides the Styx concert. But last week was, yeah, I guess it was like the time I dropped it in the water. But I felt, the time I went in the water.
What happened?
I don't know why, but I didn't feel bad about that one. But the one 3 days ago, I felt it haunted me. I remember when I was a kid, I was trying to take a staple out of the bottom of a chair. You know, these furniture is very, very hard wood. It's oak. And I had a long, skinny screwdriver, and I was pushing with all my might to pull this screw out, and it slipped, and it went up, boosh, right on the bottom part of my eye, and it almost went right into my eye. That close. The reason I bring that up is because that little experience when I was 18 or 19, haunted me. To this day, I think about that because I almost lost an eye like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of haunting is what this camera experience happened 3 days ago. And again, dropping the D30 in that October back in 2001, I was like, yeah, well, fuck it. I was working my ass off that day, and my fingers were cold. And in front of like 30 people on the dock. Oh, for some reason.
So what happened? So what happened this last time?
It was really stupid, and Tina was right there with a client, and I was at the tripod because all my cameras always at the tripod. It was the 7R2 with the 85 mil Zeiss lens. Yeah, this is expensive. And I took the card out of the side slot, and then I unlocked the camera from the tripod.
Yeah.
And in my brain, I forgot that I unlocked the
camera.
I released the camera. I had confused the fact that I'd taken the card. The card.
Yeah.
So I did both at the same time, and for some reason, in my brain, the camera was still locked on the tripod, and I let it go, and it just went flying.
Smash on the ground.
Fuck. reached out and I grabbed it right away, like just caught it, and it would have landed right on the hard cement floor, and it would have smashed for sure.
Drop my camera all the time.
Have you?
All the time. It's all the time.
Yeah, but this would have been devastating. Have you ever dropped it?
Oh yeah, I dropped it underground. I've dropped it on the concrete. Oh yeah, I've actually done kind of the same thing. Like, or I'll go and put it back on the tripod, and I'll be like, I'll pull the lever out and I'll go click and I'll just let it go, but it never actually clicked in.
How many times have you physically dropped it though?
5 or 6 now. 5 or 6 now.
Near drops.
5 or 6 now. Good drops.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just like what was the last one was recent, like really recent. It bounced, but it was all good.
Total the camera?
No, they're still works.
All right, your cameras are tough then.
They're Canon.
Did it land on
It landed on the side lens. Like I can't put my lens hood on one of my lenses now because it dented.
Okay.
It dented.
You got to be careful, man. That's going to be a costly proposition for you if you drop it and hurt it real bad.
Well, if I drop my 5D Mark II, I took another one. Upgrade. You know.
See this?
But it happens. It happens.
2001.
That's why I always have a backup.
And last 3 days ago, I almost dropped it. I mean, it haunted me. It was really haunting.
That reminds me, I gotta go get. I gotta buy another lens there. I got that. Every time I put my 24 to 105 on my new camera, it says the sensors aren't, the contacts aren't connected. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just can't get it to work. I gotta get that looked at.
It's because it's dropped too many times.
I think so. I forgot about that, but I've got a lot of traveling coming in the next few weeks, so I'm gonna have to get that.
Okay, now here's the thing: is your camera getting really old, or not your new?
No,
camera?
I just bought the new 16 Mark II.
So is it the lens? Is the lens just wear and tear?
I don't know if it's the lens or if it's the. I think it's the lens because I don't know because the lens works on everything else. The lens works on my 5D Mark II.
It's a mystery.
And I'm gonna go Google it. I just kind of put it in the bag and forgot about it.
Okay.
So,
you'll get to it when you get to it.
I'll do it when I get to it, and that's it.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's the camera. I mean, it
Yeah,
could
I don't know.
be, but I doubt it is. That camera's not that old, right? It's less than 6 months old.
Yeah, it's like brand new. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Chances are it's not
So
the camera.
are you done weddings now?
I got one more this Saturday.
One more, right?
Yeah. At a resort, French River, small wedding, 45 people. They're up from Toronto.
Which resort? Saint-Gier or Flashy?
No, forget the name of it. I've done a few weddings there.
Not the one with the moose head, eh?
No, not that one. I don't think that place is going anymore.
I don't think so
Wait a
either.
minute. I got the contract right here.
Remember that place? Remember I had a wedding there and I had to go through all your old boxes and find the same location so I can see what you did? Remember it was like one of the first weddings I was shooting for you? I had to Julia Gulia. And I had to go and look. I had to look at how you set everything up so that I could recreate what you did.
It's called the Lodge at Pine Cove Inn.
Oh, sounds nice.
There's a bit of a trend, people coming up from the big city, coming up to Northern Ontario to have their weddings out in the bush, and it's a big deal for them. So I've done a few weddings there, and which is kind of a bonus. So when I met with them 3 or 4 months ago, they liked me. We connected, and then so they booked. I did. I met. They were. I think in May they were coming up. The lodge does something very smart. When they book a wedding, they say, "Come on up for a day."
Yeah.
On us, and we'll talk about the menu and all that stuff. And you have a free cabin. I don't know if it's maybe for the weekend.
That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool. So I told them, I said, "Well, tell me when you're coming up, and I'll drive there and I'll meet you there, and I'll do your engagement session, and we'll sign the contract and do all that stuff." Because we take their money over the phone, we do the e-transfer, but we want to fill out the contract, get their autographs.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Yeah, so, and it instills a lot of confidence in them with me. What the hell else did I want to say about that? There was something about all that. I can't remember. Anyways, this lodge is being run by a guy who's from Toronto. He used to be a big CEO of some big company, and he just sold everything, changed his whole life around, and he's running this place now. But every time I see him, he looks a little stressed, so I don't know if he's any much better off.
Good old stress.
So anyways, after we booked it, and Tina and I were there to do the engagement photos and meet with them, I sent him an email a few weeks later. I said, look, you're having a small wedding. I'm not going to bring an assistant. I'm just going to keep it on the down low, but I'm going to stay a little longer. So she emailed me last week just to follow up, say, wedding, everything's good.
And
And I like to,
how come you're not bringing an assistant?
well, it's a small wedding. I don't want to make a big production out of it. There's the photographer and the team. It's such a small wedding. To me, it's a good call to make. But I'll stay a little longer. I'll stay for some sunset shots, and they like that.
Yeah.
So. But I think the way communicating with people is really, really important. And so when the way I crafted the email to her last week, and I could tell by her response, it was really positive. She was like something about like, we're just really happy to have you as our wedding photographer, yada, yada, yada. But I'm pretty sure I instilled that sort of happy feeling in her. By the way, when she initially sent me us an email saying, just checking in, wedding's coming up soon, everything will go. And then I sat down and I really thought hard. And I think this is really important to know for anybody communicating with clients or prospects. I sat down and I really thought hard about what I was going to say to her. And because, she's going to be reading this, and this is her wedding day. And this applies to it could apply to you and anybody in any field, in any business, whatever their transaction is, how you communicate to people. I love email for that reason. And I guess on top of that, last week, I've also sent out 2 email proposals for pitches for gigs.
Yeah.
And I did a video using Camtasia software. They don't expect this.
No.
And I do a video. First of all, I cleared away. I said, look, are you, like, one's a real estate office? I said, are you guys, this is kind of awkward because they already had somebody shoot the pictures and you and I know the person.
Yeah.
But they're not that good. They're not
happens.
that good. It happens. And I told him, I said, look, I know the guy who shot your stuff. And I said, I didn't say anything, but I knew what he was feeling, and I knew felt pretty confident he was going to say something. And he goes, yeah, geez, we're not happy with those pictures. Bingo. Good. I said, I got some ideas. Do you want to hear? I'll send you a proposal. How can he say no to that?
Yeah, exactly.
So I sent him a video with my pretty face.
Yeah.
And they don't expect that. They say, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I just thought I'd create a video because I want to show you some images and really explain a little more what my proposal is. But really, it's like talking to somebody in person, and that's so important.
I'm going to start doing that for my mining clients.
People don't expect it, and this thing is a powerful thing. And I did one for the dental office. There's got to be about 14 ladies working there, and I said to them, because I do this high-speed flash stuff now, and it just looks freaking amazing. And I proposed that look for the dental office too. But the guy from the real estate office, he's like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
That's good.
The first thing I said was, look, if you come here, you guys come the same day, I'll give you a good deal.
Yeah.
And it's like almost half price. Shit, right away got his attention, right? Yeah, we could come there the same day. We can do that. And I'll give you these images, and this is the way they'll look.
Yeah.
I showed him, just like I showed the dental office. And you could do the same. And if I were you, I'd really push that crappy versus snappy whole motif, because I think that is fucking genius. I love that.
I've got more of those actually on my phone. I'll have to do some more of those.
How many guys at work? How many guys in your industry? I mean, they're really connected to this. They're moving. They're doing big things. So they need to feel good about representing every aspect of that in the best possible way, right?
Yeah.
Most of them would you agree with me if you'd say most of them are not aware of the fact that there's a big difference between a regular shoot and burn photographer who's not really in control of everything, and then what you're able to bring, and you can demonstrate that through snappy versus snappy?
There is now, but it's such a big industry that not everybody does. I know now, like I'm starting to see it now in this industry that my style and myself, as far as the experience that I bring to the table, photography outside of it, but talking to my clients during the shoot, how even if there's a language barrier, how fast I can disarm the situation and have that person give me their 100%, trust. You know what I mean? Like they trust me.
How do you do that?
What's that?
How do you do that?
It's personality. Personality, confidence in your product, experience, know how to talk to them. It's the
Yeah.
same thing when we shoot weddings. It's the same, like, you know what I mean? Like when you do your engagement sessions and you're walking with the groom and bride and the bride and groom,
Hmm.
what do you do when you walk to your first location? When you're first meeting them outside the consultation, you're getting to know them, right? Finding out what they like, this and that, find a common ground, right? So when I do this, anyways, the whole point is that my brand, as far as James Hodgins Mining Industrial Photographer, is actually getting out into the industry worldwide. It's people are now saying, when we see your images, we know it's you. We see it everywhere. We can tell it's yours. There is a difference.
Uh-huh.
So
All right. Well, this is good.
no, it is good, but that took years.
Yeah. And if I
But
can say anything as far as offering advice to that, to add to it,
yeah, always take advice.
never take it for granted, and always assume there's room for even furthering
Oh
that.
no, that's the thing. Like I'm still small potatoes. I
Yeah.
still just scratch the surface. I am always looking for always every day. And this goes back to our earlier discussion about, you have to do something every day to further your business because
Hmm.
nobody else is going to give you a paycheck. If the phone stops ringing, you're done. So every day and it comes down to, like you said, you post on social media several times a day. So do I, cross platforms. I try different vocabulary. I try different images. I am watching which images get which views, which are popular, what time of the
Okay.
day gets more
Okay.
posting.
I noticed your post today. It sounded like you were having a love affair with the.
Oh, my jumbos. I love my jumbos. And that's the thing. In the industry, people know that the jumbo drill is one of my favorite things to shoot. So I always talk about it. That's why I wanted to make my little poem about my jumbo drill.
Oh yeah, I've never heard you write poetically or wax poetically about a big ass piece of mining equipment. First of all, tell everybody what a jumbo is.
Jumbo is just a big, huge hard rock drilling machine that's got these two long arms that come out, and it looks nothing like it, but it reminds me of Aliens with Sigourney Weaver when she gets into that
Yeah.
mechanical thing, and it's just, you know what I mean. And I always love shooting it from the face where the machine's in front of me and you got the arms going down. And I have 4 images that I usually do, which are always the same. It's, like each jumbo, I do the same images, but I've always come up with other angles. It's a badass looking machine. And and for some reason, the images that I shoot at jumbos, they get a lot of attention. They get reposted a lot, throughout. And that's the other thing I started watching. Like I check every day. I check every day to see who's reposting, which company's
Oh yeah.
reposting my images. Funny thing, this happened to me several times. I'll think that, you know what, I haven't shot for a specific client lately. It's been a while. It's time for them to get new stuff. So I will actually post in it one of their images.
Oh yeah.
What do you know? I get an email from them. Hey, it's been a while. We saw your post. We said, hey, it's been a while. Today I was working on my image to put tomorrow, right? Because I try to, sometimes if I had time, I'll get my social media done the night before, but I'll post everything tomorrow. But I just work on the image. Anyways, I'm working on it, and I had to, and I get an email pops up, and it's the company that I'm working on the image, and they're
Hmm.
like, hey, do you have any blah 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 images of Atlas Copco equipment on our site? And I'm like, this is weird because I'm literally working on an image right now. Like, and then your email pops up, like as I'm working on an image that you're actually requesting, and I haven't talked to you in a bit. It was
Okay,
really weird.
was it a jumbo? Sweet Jesus.
No, oh sweet Jesus, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a jumbo. But the jumbo image that I posted today actually got inquired about, which led to this email that he sent. Like, so anyways, that's another thing. Like, I'll spend like hours on social media. I think I actually added a tracker on my phone that tracks how many times I open my phone, and it logs my hours every day on how many hours I'm spending on each application, because I'm looking to see how much time I'm actually spending on my phone, because I do a lot of work on my phone. All my email communications through my phone, all my social media, and even some of my editing is now done through my phone. So now I'm looking at how many hours I'm spending a day on my phone versus goofing around, or actually doing work. But anyway, so yeah, I lost my train of thought on that one.
It was going somewhere.
It was going somewhere. It'll come back to me. But now, oh yeah. So anyway, so even though I'm spending like 3 to 4 hours on social media, like I'll sit there, and as I'm doing this, like even I'm sitting in the doctor's office yesterday, and I'm sitting there and I'm doing this, right? And I'm doing this, and I know people are probably thinking exactly what I think when I see people. There's another guy wasting time swiping up, looking at Facebook, but I'm not looking just at Facebook. I'm looking at all my social media platforms to see what the industry is doing, what images are they using, are they using my images, how are they using it. I'm screen capturing every time somebody uses one of my image, because
Right.
then I can see which images and keep track of which images they're using, because that's going to help me for further social media. But that's the thing, every day, you got to post stuff every day. It's all branding, and it's the same thing when we used to blog. Before social media became big, how did we get our content out there? Well, we did blogging. We blogged every day. And I still remember getting clients when I had my studio. We've been following your blog for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They've been following my blog for 2 years, right? But when it came time,
you still work your blog, right?
I still work my blog, yes. And when it comes time for photography, guess whose name popped into their head immediately? Bing, mine. Because they saw my name every day.
That's called branding.
Years. And that's all branding is. And that's what I tell people when they say, you got to do something every day. You got to put stuff out there every day. They don't get it. They got one post every freaking 3 months or one post every week. And it's like, that's not going to do it. They need to see your face all the time. They might not hire you now. They're not going to sit there and say, holy crap, that image is so freaking awesome. I'm calling right now, and I'm going to call, and I'm going to book that. That's not how it works. What works is when they actually need your product or your service, it's your name that they pop into their head because they've seen it over and over and over.
And back in the old days, pre-internet-ish, we were doing displays all over the city and at the shopping center.
Exactly. And you know what? And I remember those displays because when I was first getting in photography, you were still putting those displays in the shopping center and mall. And I remember those. And that's exactly it. They saw Westmount Photography, Fine Art Photography, remember that little logo you had with the outline of the woman, the elegant one that you had, right?
I got that somewhere.
So, and the thing is, that's what it's going to take now.
Yeah. Minimum.
Like, it's minimal, but that's what it's going to take now. When I get new people asking me, like, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, you got to put stuff out there every day. And it doesn't matter. I'm not saying you got to shoot every day. Shooting every day, that does come. But how do you shoot every day? Well, you get more clients. How do you get more clients? They got to see your name. They have to see it. That's called marketing 101. And all business now are doing it. All businesses are all on social media platforms. All.
Well, few are doing it right, though. The opportunity.
Few are doing it right. Because I get asked all the time now. Because that's how, I'm at the point now where clients want me to put the images that I created for them on my social media because they know that it's going to get out across the internet. Cool. Right?
They like that.
They love that. Why? That's free advertising for them, too. It's a win-win situation.
Good angle.
Win-win situation.
Man, you gotta love it.
But again, it's like every day. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I got a routine. Any chance I can get. If I'm on my phone, I'm not just scrolling through social media to see what friends are doing and see who's eating what and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's still work.
So you mentioned something a minute ago, and I asked you, well, how is it when you're talking to people, say, for example, when there's a language barrier? I mean, how is it you're communicating them? I figured you were going to say through the images and or through before and after images, but you said through my personality. So, which I agree with because your personality is quite dynamic, and that means a lot. And that I
You know,
think if I just want to, this reminded me of a conversation. You know, Maria Sampaio, she
yeah.
sent me a text this morning, and this ties in exactly to what we're now talking about to do with
Okay.
personality and confidence. Okay, so she sent me a text this morning. Like, first of all, nobody can sell like Maria.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. She's awesome.
man, I did a webinar with her 2 months ago. She went out for a bike ride. She found this beautiful location, and she went on Facebook and she put out a call, said, I got this location. I'm looking for a family. She had 50 inquiries. Those are
Right.
leads. She
Yeah.
picked one. She
Yeah.
said, this is what you're wearing. This is what we're doing. The mom went out and did all that and spent $5,000. This woman knows how to sell. This
Yep.
was just an idea she created. This is a marketing strategy she created. Anyway, she sent me a text. She says, The Art of Extraordinary Confidence, Your Ultimate Path to Love, Wealth, and Freedom by Dr. Aziz Gasapura. Okay, so she says, this book is pretty awesome. I believe confidence is key to sales.
Yep.
Okay, confidence. That's what we're talking about, man. There's one chapter that talks about asking for what you want. Great, great read. So I replied to her. I said, I always said that who you are transmits louder than anything else. And this, I believe, applies to what you just said when you said my
Yeah.
personality. I often wonder that about you, and I could picture you in a sales session, unstoppable and so passionate. It's convincing beyond any other force or influence. So true. And it's not a talent, but it's a skill
That's
that
right.
we
It
learn.
is a skill we learn and master. It is a skill. Anybody can learn it.
So I said, thanks, I'll check it out. But yeah,
What happens is some people think they can't learn it or just like, well, I'm not like that. Well, I'm sorry, but that can be the difference between you being a good business owner and successful or not, is your personality. And
work it, man.
how do I get past that language barrier? Because I've had two language barriers because I don't speak any other language besides
Well, okay,
English.
what's your main language barriers? French and Spanish?
French, Spanish, and well, lately Greek.
Greek. You were in
Greek.
Greece, right?
So, anyways, so how do I get them to do what I need them to do, right? Without a translator.
How do you do it?
It's all body language and everything. It's like, like and lots of hand gestures, right? But that's okay. But I'll be like, like, and I'll talk to them. I says, I'm going to watch you do your job. So then they're like, okay. So they start doing their job, and I'll be like, and I'll watch, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, perfect. 1 minute. And then I'll go get it again, and I say, okay. I got excited. I said, do it again. And they'll be like, okay. I'm like, all right. And then I'll take the picture, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah. And I show it to them, and they're like, and I say, and then that's
Sound
it.
like a Japanese chef.
Exactly. But then that's it. And then there are confidence right there because I'm excited.
Yeah.
When you show enthusiasm and excitement, people
Yeah.
feed off that.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember talking about this when we used to do our No BS seminars, especially for the wedding photography, because that's where I learned it from. The worst thing you want to do is go click, and it's not working right. All right, let me see if I can do this. Like I would make, whether it's a studio porch or whatever, any adjustments I made, I would let them know that it's me and not them. Oh, you're great. Oh, this looks great, but I need to change. I need to change something because I need to make it even. I need it to go even better. But just keep doing what you're doing, even though it's probably the ugliest thing I've shot so far because of the lighting and stuff like that. But they would never know that.
Don't tell
Never
them.
know that, right? You never give
Fake it.
any of your clients doubt in whatsoever. And when you get excited, and I know because I get excited when I get a good image, and I used to do it with weddings. I'd be like, oh yes. And I mean, oh, and then they'd be like, oh, and then if Joss was there, she goes, yeah, he gets a little bit excited when he gets good shots. It's like, incredible. This is awesome. So when they see me, which is a professional photographer, getting excited over something that I photograph of them,
Wow.
they're like, hey, right on. And that just, they get more confident. And what happens when you get more confident? Your true self shines through. The best parts shine through.
You work it.
You work it. You work it. If you're quiet and I'm just going to shoot behind the scenes and from the sidelines, that'll work for you. It will. But it's not going to work for you every time.
It was way better to give it all.
Might as well give it all.
Yeah, no, I agree
I always
100%.
said, if you want to be a good photographer, you got to be a people person. You have to actually anything. If you want to be a good salesman, you want to be a good businessman, you have to have the gift of gab and be a people person. And honesty, that's the other thing. Honesty, 100% honesty. You fuck up, you own it.
Own it.
You own it. You own it. Anything, honesty, 100% honesty.
Be 100% authentic.
Except
That's
when
so
you're going fishing, you just tell them you're booked.
true.
Right?
I'm on assignment.
I'm honestly, that's like Craig's boat, eh?
Oh,
Hey, Craig's boat, I'm on assignment. He's not lying. He's on assignment. That's his boat's name.
my boat's name is on assignment. Isn't that Craig Manelli's boat's name?
That's what I just said. Do you even listen to me?
No. Were you referring to Craig Manelli's
I was
sailboat?
just saying, Craig said he's on assignment. He's not lying because that's his
Okay,
boat's
I
name,
missed
on
that part.
assignment.
Hello.
Yeah, honesty is the other thing that I found is, 100% honesty. I'm an open book. When I'm on site, I am an open book. I don't fabricate anything, but I've got ways of, I need people to like me. When I'm on site, I need people to like me. And the thing about the mining industry is you get a lot, I don't want to say disgruntled because they're not disgruntled, but it's like, why am I getting my picture taken? They're a little standoffish because, I don't want my freaking face on a billboard or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't know, right? But then
Nobody wants it anymore.
once and again, like you said, I do show them images. Look, it's not going to be the same, but I just want to show you some of my work.
Yeah.
So you know, and I tell them straight out, I am going to make you look the best that I possibly can because it's my reputation, right? And I want you to look badass. You take pride in your work. You're a professional miner or whatever you're doing. You're a professional at it, and I want you to have something that you can take home to show your wife, kids, husband, whatever, that this is what you do, and I will make you look good.
You say all that?
I do, and I said, and I will show it to you before we're done, so that you know you're happy with it.
Yeah.
And then usually, like after my test shot, because usually when I take my test shot, then you sit there and I get excited because I still do like, oh yes, yes. And then I show them and I say, see, and they're like, oh yeah, and then they're like, ah.
Yeah.
I've had it where I've asked, hey, I'm here, guys. Anybody want their portrait taken? No, I'm good. One guy's like, you, come on. When's the last time you're gonna get one of these done? And then I tell them, I'm like, the company's paying for it, right? Okay, I'll do the one guy. I'll set something up really kick ass. He's all excited. He's like, come over and check this out. So the other guys and girls come over and they look at it and they're like, okay, I'll get one done. And I see it over and over and over.
Company's paying for it.
Well, that's what I always tell them. Listen, the company's paying for it. Take advantage of it. Usually that's the clincher.
Yep.
But it's taken me like 7 years now to get to the confidence of going into any situation now where it's just like, whatever. Like, remember when I first started in weddings, I go pre-look at all the locations, formulate a whole plan in my head, try to make sure that I do everything. And then like now, if I was going to shoot a wedding, like at the end of the day, it's like, I don't even want, whatever happens, happens. I'll deal with it because you can't change anything. Well, that's my attitude now. Whatever happens, happens.
Well, you don't have that much flexibility, do you? You can't go underground or you can't fly 500 miles to your next industrial mining gig to scope out the location, come up with a plan, then come back home and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do on this job.
Well, no, I don't even.
Do you find that? Do you find you have way more, you got to think on the spur of the moment?
Oh, constantly. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like when I get to a spot and it's like, and this is it. It's like, all right, I got to make, even like the last shoot I had in Quebec, I didn't want to say I doubted myself, but where the machine was parked, it couldn't move. And I was like, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do here, guys. Like,
I'm going home.
Like, no, I didn't say that. I was like,
I'm joking.
Thought we could move it. And it's like, so then I sat there and I didn't want to say disgruntled, but I took some time to think and, we talked for a while and I kind of just, because I don't want to say I was flustered, but I was like, it was one of those things where this shouldn't have happened. But then I was like, okay. And then so I talked to the one guy because he was, he didn't speak any English and he was kind of like, So then I said, you speak English? He's like, a little bit. I was like, oh, there we go. That's all I needed to know. So then I said, okay, here's what it is. I need to come up with some images. I need to know what you do here, and I need to see how this machine's going to move, and then we'll figure it out. So he showed me a few things, and then you know what? The images turned out freaking fantastic. Got some beautiful shots. The company was happy with them. My client was happy. The mine was happy with them. He
Yeah.
was happy with them. And it was just one of those things where I had to take at least 10, 15 minutes
Right. Not a lot of time.
and just like, and I didn't even think of what I was going to do. I said, I'm just going to take 10, 15 minutes. I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to wait. And then something will present itself or whatever, because I couldn't constantly, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I'm like, I got some time. Let's just talk to some people, take a
Hmm.
break, smoke if you got them, whatever. Let's just, and that's what I did. We took 10, 15 minutes, and then he's like, well, we can probably do this. Would that be normal? Would you normally do that in a job? Yeah, we do that. Okay, well, that's going to look awesome if we can do that. Perfect. Let's do that then. Like, and that's, but every situation I go into is, yeah, it's different.
Challenging.
And I've got into situations where I have not been able to do the images like in Greece. Greece, 90% of the images taken, I was not able to do what I wanted to do.
Really.
There was
Halfway
no
wrong.
time. No, there's no time. I couldn't set up lights. I didn't have time. It was
Wow.
like go, go, go. It was frustrating, but again, and I go back to, I even used your quote. And I was talking about this with Rob today. I said it's funny because all the stuff Rob taught me, like 15 years ago, it's now the lessons he taught me back then are now coming into play now, where I'm realizing like, oh, so because like one time I shot something in Greece, and then I went to the next facility, and my contact came in. She goes, "I need you now, like you got to come in now, like there's no time, like grab your camera, come in now." So I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't even know what lenses to take because I don't even know what I'm shooting at, right? And it was
Hmm.
like, okay, so I grabbed my two lenses, I grabbed my camera, and I go in, and I had to shoot this scenario, and it's like, oh, like I could so use 2 or 4 lights right now, like this would
Yeah.
be like
But you
it's
couldn't.
dark in here, like but there was no time. I had to shoot what I can get,
That's
like what I mean.
frustrating.
And it's frustrating. And I got images. Don't get me wrong. I still got images, but I can see like, oh, like if I had time, I could have blown this stuff out of the water, like just
Yeah.
fantastic, top-notch stuff, right? But so afterwards, she's like, Jane's like, I know you're frustrated because you can't do what you need to do, and I really appreciate you, being calm and going with the flow. And I said, well, honestly, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not gonna freak out. Like, how
Mhm.
is that gonna help the situation? I mean, all I
It
can
is
do
what
is
it
go with
is.
the flow. That's what you got to do. Like, whatever happens, I will. That's what happens. And that's what you used to tell me. Stop complaining about the problem and give me solutions.
Let's find a solution here.
I remember that. I don't remember
Yeah.
what that
But
was
does that
about.
happen often? Like Grease shoot scenario you just described there. Is
No,
that was
no, that
exception?
does not happen often, and it's not my fault. It's not my client's fault. It's just it was all new to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't know how long everything was going to take because it was a first for them too.
Here's what I'm
They know
thinking.
now, like they kind of know now. It's like okay, like after I did manage to set up one shoot, they're like okay, like wow, like yeah, this does take some time. Like this isn't
Yeah.
just you just grab a quick shot of that. You know,
Well, here's
it
what I'm
happens.
thinking. If I were going through that experience, here's what I'd be thinking. I'd be thinking, okay, what can I do next time to sort of avoid? Is there clues or anything that I can look for that'll reveal itself and tell me that
Well, and
next
that's what
job
I
is
take
going
away.
to happen?
Like now I ask more questions, right?
Okay. So
Now
guys,
I kind of know how long it's going to take me to. Okay, we have a machine. It's at a rock face. We need you to take some pictures of the machine, some front, back, sides, and some of the operator doing it. I know how long that's going to take me. If you
yeah,
guys want it good, if you want good, like my quality, what I do,
yeah.
this is how long I need.
But what
And
happened? What happened in Greece that sort of derailed? You said 90% of the shots. What happened there? Bad planning, bad orchestrating, bad management.
there's so much to photograph,
Okay.
and because and here's the thing, I was on a secondary, like the main focus of that shoot was video because I
Yeah.
was with I was with the production company, right, Penda
You
Productions.
couldn't shoot
So
over the videographer's shoulder, use his video lights? Crank your,
no, because no, like well, when they do, like, man, they had some extensive, I gotta admit, like they had some extensive stuff, like their video was like like
Really
top
good.
notch video. Oh, like
So
the best I've seen so far. So I couldn't really shoot over their shoulder. I could for some, but I mean like they've got like the gas and booms and screen, shoot throughs over top of them, and then underground's different. Like video, you've got a very high dynamic range and exposure. You can shoot what's there. Camera, you can't shoot slow shutter speeds underground. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to, you need additional lighting. Like you have to, otherwise you're
so you were sort of kicked to the side, not the main guy. That was mostly for
no,
the
not
video.
kick to the side. Don't want to, no, not kick to the side at all. I just had to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
This is the way it was, right?
Sounds
Like
like the
there's
video
just,
was the big budget stuff though.
oh, it was big budget. Yeah, yeah. It was awesome to see.
And
Awesome to see.
you were well paid, no doubt, and they paid all your expenses.
Oh yeah, no,
Company.
it was a great experience. Like I said, like I don't regret any of it. It was awesome. I loved it, and I loved the client, the
So
guy who
here's what I'm
company
also
who
thinking.
hired me, and the mining company. They're fantastic.
Here's
I
what I'm
just
also
what disappointed me was that I had, when's the next time I'm going to go there? Like I saw so many scenarios where I've never photographed before,
and you
where I
couldn't do
was like,
it.
oh man, like I would have loved to spend an hour just shooting this one scenario. Would have loved it.
Mhm.
I could have created I could have had such a kick-ass images, right?
Oh well.
It happens. It happens.
So it's a good thing you shoot raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save the day. Fix
Yeah.
it in post.
Yeah. I do this thing, like I look at my exposures. I actually trust the LCD screen because I know what the LCD screen produces compared to my monitor. That's
So
right
how
now.
many shots in Greece did you shoot raw versus JPEG?
I didn't shoot any raw.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up. Is
Jesus.
anybody watching this are going to be,
No,
yeah, good
it's
thing you're
space.
shooting raw.
No, space. I'd be like the way I was shooting, it was like shooting a wedding. Like
If- Yeah.
like I
but
had to like there wasn't 20 images of the same scenario when I could have just said, oh, change all the white balance to this. Like I had to go into each image. I can't remember how many images, the finished images that they got. Because I downloaded and backed up, twice backed up every night. But yeah, let me see here. So let me see. So this one they got 6. So each site, so 637, 262, 1,283, 409. So we're at a few thousand already, right? 671 images from that site, and then 617 from that site. Finished images. They got a few thousand finished images. Like they've got a huge catalog of images, and that was kind of the goal, Don't get me wrong. A lot of the scenarios I shot were like snapshot style because that was the scenario.
yeah.
Like going through the villages. I'm not setting up lights shooting villages. You know what I mean? Just some of the scenarios that we did, man. I could have done some kick-ass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. I loved it. I'd love to go back to Greece. I'd love to go back to that mine, that company again. They were awesome.
So
I'd go back in a heartbeat.
I did a video 3 years ago on why I switched from Nikon to Sony, and I put
Yeah.
it on YouTube. It's got like 76,000 views.
Wow.
Last week, I'm a sucker for punishment. I'm gonna go read some of the comments.
Yeah.
I hate reading comments,
I don't read comments anymore.
but I'm like 3 comments down, and the one guy is like, he's like, oh, I quit after, because I do this all the time. I say, yeah, I shoot 100% JPEG. He says, I quit after I shoot JPEG comment.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that one.
And he's like, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, you don't get it. First of all, that's so stupid to say, I'm going to not listen to what this guy has to say because of that. And it's like
Yeah,
a
I know.
religious fervor. And, you and I have always been shooting 100% JPEG. And like I used to say, I go to the bank teller every week to make my deposit. I make my money. The teller doesn't look at me and go, did you shoot raw JPEG? Does the client notice? Does anybody care? No. It's complete and utter bullshit. I'll stand behind that more so now than ever before. But I just find it's funny.
I'll say it. What I've always been saying. With cameras these days, I'm going to look right at the camera and say this.
Come and say hi. Sorry, my daughter's picking me up. Say that again. I'm just going to bring her on the screen, then I got to go. But say that.
Danielle. Hey, what's going on? Nice hat. So I'll say this again in regards to the whole JPEG versus RAW debate. With today's cameras, you really have to fuck up an image bad to not make it work with JPEG. Like you really have to screw something up.
How often does that happen to you where you screw it up? Or does it happen? Not very often, does it?
Not too often. Maybe 1 or 2 frames, because I'll look at one frame, oh shit, I fucked that up. And then I'll switch exposures.
Okay.
But
so we're finishing up here. I wanted to put your face on the screen.
Hi, everyone.
So that's true. Danielle, do you shoot RAW or JPEG?
I shoot JPEG. That's kind of how I was raised to.
I trained her well.
I'm not saying one's better than the other. What bugs us is when people say, oh, you're not a professional because you shoot
like
JPEG.
it, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
You have to shoot RAW. It's become it's always been. We noticed that in the early 2000s. It was that way then. It's still that way with a lot of people now. It's just like this religious fervor. So.
I'm gonna switch to RAW. My next shoot, I'm gonna do in RAW. I'm gonna actually do another test. I think it's time I test again.
Testing,
I'll shoot JPEG and RAW, and I'll do both images, and I'll see.
I do it once in a while too.
I think because the last time I did it, I was like, man, I can't see the difference.
Now I got to tell you one thing. I do use the RAW editor in Photoshop. I love it.
Yeah, I played with that. Yeah, I played with that. It works well.
Bill Guy taught me that, and he said you could use the RAW editor in JPEG, and I'm like,
when you go to Costa Rica, are you bringing your studio strobe light there?
I'm not sure.
If you don't, can I borrow it? And if I break it, I'll buy you a new one.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I got 2. Hold on. Which one?
I want the big one with the big battery pack.
So I'm thinking of bringing this one.
Yeah, bring that one. I'll take your other big one.
And the big one, I don't think I'm going to bring.
Okay, let me borrow it, and if I break it, I'll buy it from you. I'll buy you a new one.
Okay. I love that Godox.
Because when are you leaving?
10 days, 12 days. We're just gone for 2 weeks though.
Yeah, let me borrow it because I got some shoots out of town, and then I will probably I'll probably purchase.
Don't drop it.
No, I won't. No. Okie dokie.
Okay. Thanks for doing this. We'll do it again.
I'll have my laptop. I was actually debating if I should bring my mic when I go travel, and then could do one on the road.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll pack it. Yeah. Okay. Because I'll have these with me anyways. I'll bring the mic, and and I can just use my. Before I go, I'll hook up my laptop, and we'll see how it works with the camera on the laptop.
Should work.
Should work. Okay, buddy.
Be awesome. All right.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye, Danielle.
Bye, James.
Bye.
Bye, James. Bye, James.
Bye.
Out.